when you're afraid to ask. Hebrews 4:16. Have you ever needed help so badly, but felt too ashamed to ask for it? Not because nobody cared, but because you were afraid of what they might see if you opened up. That's where James was. The alarm buzzed at 5:42 a.m., but James was already awake. He stared at the thin crack in the ceiling above his bed, watching the early light crawl across it. His chest felt heavy, like he had been holding his breath all night. The apartment was quiet, except for the refrigerator clicking every few seconds, like it was just as tired as he was. He swung his legs onto the cold floor and rubbed his face. His beard scratched his palms. On the nightstand, his phone lit up again. Another missed call from Rachel. He turned it face down and walked into the kitchen. At the sink, rusty water coughed from the faucet before turning clear. James splashed his face and looked at himself in the mirror. His eyes looked older than he remembered. On the table behind him sat a stack of unopened envelopes. He picked one up and tore it open. Final notice. The words made his stomach tighten. He folded the paper slowly, like that could make the problem smaller, and set it back down. A knock hit the door. James froze. Another knock followed, firmer this time. Then he heard her voice. James, it's me. He waited longer than he should have, then unlocked the door. Rachel stood there with her jacket still damp from rain, her hair pulled back from work. She looked at his face first, then at the apartment behind him. You shouldn't be here, James said quietly. Rachel stepped inside anyway. Her shoes stopped near the scattered mail. She turned slowly, taking everything in without saying a word, and then looked at him again. How long have you been pretending you're fine? She asked. James swallowed and looked at the floor. Since people stopped wanting to hear the truth. Rachel pulled out a chair and sat. Sit with me. He didn't want to, but he did. Silence settled between them. You stopped answering my calls, Rachel said. James rubbed his hands together. Because every time I talk about my life, I feel smaller. Rachel leaned forward. You don't get smaller by asking for help. You get buried by hiding. James stood and walked to the window, his back to her. The street below looked far away. I lost the job. Rachel's breath caught. Why didn't you tell me? He laughed under his breath. What was I supposed to say? That I failed again? Rachel came closer. She reached into her bag and pulled out her Bible, the pages soft from use. She opened it gently and read. Not loudly, not dramatically, just honestly. So let us come boldly to the throne of our gracious God. There we will receive His mercy, and we will find grace to help us when we need it most. James closed his eyes. Boldly, he whispered. I barely feel brave enough to whisper. Rachel looked at him. James, the throne isn't for perfect people. It's for honest ones. That night, James sat on the edge of his bed while streetlights spilled through the blinds and painted the wall in quiet stripes. A car passed outside, tires hissing on wet pavement. He held his phone in his hands, then slowly set it down. He folded his hands, awkward and unsure. God, I don't even know how to pray right now. I feel embarrassed coming back, but I'm tired of pretending I'm okay. If mercy is really there, I need it tonight. Nothing in the room moved, but something inside him loosened like a knot finally giving way. The next morning, his phone buzzed. An unknown number. He hesitated, then answered. Is this James Harper? A man asked. This is Mr. Lawson. Your sister Rachel gave me your name. Are you still looking for work? James sat upright. Yes. Come in this morning. 8:30. When James hung up, he stared at the wall for a second, then let out a slow breath he didn't realize he'd been holding. At Ridgeway Construction, the air smelled like coffee and oil. Machines hummed behind concrete walls. James rubbed his palms on his jeans while Mr. Lawson studied him. Rachel says you work hard, Lawson said. James nodded. When I get the chance. Lawson looked him over. You don't look perfect, you look honest. We start tomorrow. By noon the next day, James's back ached and sweat soaked his shirt, but his mind felt clearer than it had in months. Carrying boards and hearing real noise around him made him feel alive again. One evening, a letter waited by his door. Emily's handwriting. His chest tightened as he opened it. Can we talk? They met at a small cafe where steam curled from their cups. Emily held her mug like she was afraid to drop it. I didn't leave because you failed, she said softly. I left because you stopped letting me see you. James stared into his coffee. I thought being strong meant staying quiet. Emily shook her head. Strong is letting someone sit with you when life is messy. James nodded slowly. I'm learning how to do that. They didn't fix everything that day, but something gentle began. Later that night, James stood by his window again. The city sounded the same, but his heart didn't. He whispered, I stopped knocking quietly. I walk in now. Because the throne of grace isn't distant. It's close, personal, and open to anyone brave enough to come. If this story meant something to you, press like, subscribe for more faith-based stories, and comment where you saw yourself in James. And if someone you love is afraid to ask for help, share this with them. Grace is closer than we think.